Martell Holt is finally scheduled to appear in court again tomorrow. August 18th is significant since he won't be able to skip out like he did on May 25th. According to what we're hearing, today is his final opportunity to appear before the judge. But his previous no-show already caused some people to wonder how seriously he was taking this issue. The stakes are much higher, the suspense is intense, and everyone is anticipating what will happen when Martell enters the courtroom tomorrow. Will he accept accountability, or will he make more excuses? You'll want to watch through to the finish because we're going to break it all down, so stay tuned. As everyone is aware, Melody, Shari, and Martell Holt's marriage ended in one of the most horrific and widely reported ways imaginable. Fans saw them struggle with heartbreak, betrayal, and family issues for years before Martell's infidelity caused everything to come apart. The fact that Ariane Curry, the woman Martell went out with, grew more daring over time just made things worse. She chose to speak out about the matter rather than remain silent. And she has continued to associate her name with Melody's suffering. It has now been revealed that Martell and Ariane were planning something much more heinous than the harm they had previously done, leaking a private tape in an attempt to degrade Melody. There is more to unpack, so if that doesn't leave you speechless, keep listening. Consider the lengths someone will go to in an attempt to publicly humiliate the woman they once pledged to protect, the mother of their children, and the person who helped them establish their reputation. Melody Shari has demonstrated for years that she is not only a reality celebrity, but also a savvy businesswoman, a protective mother, and an inspiration to women everywhere. Martell's capacity for manipulation and retaliation is demonstrated by the fact that he would even consider joining forces with Ariane to attempt to damage her reputation. And this isn't just conjecture. According to Carson Blue, another participant in the discussion, Martell and Ariane had a covert scheme involving a burner Instagram account to expose a private moment of Melody. Without Carson stepping forward, fans might not have realized how serious this situation was. So that disclosure really impacted everything. Let's take a moment to reflect. Put yourself in Melody's position. Your ex is dragging you in the media. You're already fighting for your kids in court. And instead of concentrating on co-parenting, he's working behind the scenes with his mistress to bring you down. It's devastating, but it also helps to explain why Melody has surrounded herself with such a solid wall. She has been forced to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient than before. Fans respect her for this reason. However, the idea that a plot of retaliation of this nature was even considered illustrates how dire things became. The way this all comes together will demonstrate that Martell's patterns have been consistent, so be sure to keep monitoring. The double standard Martell appears to live by exacerbates this. Pictures of him attending Ariane Curry's daughter's birthday celebrations surfaced. Despite the fact that he had declined to go to his daughter's birthday party with Melody, fans were incensed with that action alone. How is it possible for him to be there for someone else's child while ignoring the most important times with his own? Furthermore, despite supporting Ariane, he was pursuing a smear campaign in court, attempting to demonstrate that Melody was unfit to be a mother. The obvious hypocrisy shows that the individual is more concerned with appearances and control than with being a true father. And for good reasons, so many people refer to Martell as a master manipulator. The pieces began to fit together when the phone conversations between blogger Straight, No Chaser, and Ariane Curry were revealed. Ariane made a mistake in those recordings and acknowledged that Melody was on the tape, although she made an effort to minimize it by claiming that she had no plans to distribute it. The fact that she even admitted its existence validated what many had long feared. Additionally, the timing was dubious. It seemed as though Ariane merely came clean to exact revenge on Martell. They had been in this poisonous loop for years, conspiring to harm Melody and then betraying one another when things don't work out. The irresponsibility of Ariane's statements was shocking to many who listened to the tapes. Furthermore, Martell must have been incensed since he detests being made fun of in public. This is where it becomes even more twisted, though. Melody acknowledged that in order to keep her quiet about her interactions with Martell, he had once provided her a screenshot linked to this purported tape. This indicates that there was a real attempt to scare her into silence, not simply some idle chatter. Consider that. Martell was prepared to exploit private moments to silence Melody rather than take responsibility for his actions. That is emotional abuse, not merely manipulation. And because they see how much Melody has been through and still managed to stand up, this is the reason why so many fans feel protective of her. Let's be clear now. When Melody Shari was married to Martell, she was a different person. She acknowledges to herself at the time that she was duped by his deceit, charm, and manipulation. But as she observed the patterns and studied his methods, she eventually broke free. Melody has been able to overcome everything he has thrown at her because she is now in charge of her own story. Ariane, however, continues to be caught in the same pattern. Believing whatever Martell says, standing up for him no matter what, and becoming less credible each time she speaks. When you stop to think about it, Ariane's current predicament is similar to Melody's from years ago. The only difference is that Ariane hasn't escaped, whereas Melody has. Fans claim that Ariane is running a turtle race in comparison to Melody. Because of this, by dragging Ariane along, Martell may have believed he was getting away with something, but in reality, Melody has outwitted him in every manner. The harm is already done, even though Ariane makes an effort to clear her name. In interviews, even her evasive explanation, in which she expressed regret for her part in ending Martell and Melody's marriage, came out as hesitant. She attempted to portray it as Martell falling in love with a younger lady. But the truth is that her decisions caused years of chaos, which cannot be undone by an apology. It appears that Martell is still having trouble accepting responsibility. His attempts to steer the story always end in failure. Fans only get stronger in support of Melody each time he assaults her. What about the whole tape situation? Could be his greatest failure to date. You can no longer intimidate Melody into quiet. She has even begun to follow well-known solicitors like Lisa Bloom, who aided Terramari during a similar circumstance, on Love and Hip Hop. That action alone demonstrates Melody's readiness to retaliate in any manner she can. Additionally, Martell and Ariane might finally be held accountable for their acts if this goes to court. The element that really sticks, though, is that karma frequently comes back to haunt you when you attempt to generate it for someone else. Martell and Ariane have become mired in their own quagmire as a result of their intense efforts to undermine Melody. They have been spinning their wheels in turmoil that only serves to worsen their image rather than moving on and doing something tangible. Melody, meanwhile, has prospered by concentrating on her ventures, her kids, and her own development. Fans like her because, in spite of everything, she refused to let Martell's revenge plot define who she is. Ultimately, the lesson here is straightforward. You cannot prevail when you fight a battle against someone who has already discovered their